Hey everyone, Gill Gross here. On Monday, I did my Wimbledon power rankings, and I encouraged you guys to respond. I even tweeted out my power rankings and said discussion encouraged. So today, I want to respond to your comments on my power rankings for Wimbledon. Of course, the draw is going to be out tomorrow, and I'll have a Wimbledon preview shortly thereafter. Not sure exactly when I'm going to record that. Also, don't take anything I say in this video too seriously. If you want my very long form and serious analysis, just watch my actual power rankings video where I broke down all 14 players in depth. So definitely watch that video if you want my extended thoughts. But for now, I want to read your comments, and let's start by focusing on those who quote tweeted. Roger Federer's Wimbledon campaign manager helper says, "Imagine not having Cilic as your number one. Couldn't be me." I'm rooting for Marin Cilic. I'm a little bit nervous about all the expectation that is currently being placed on the man. I mean, he really hasn't been good over the course of the last 2 years, and now we're expecting him to make a deep run into Wimbledon. A lot of people seem to be expecting that of Cilic. I don't know. I don't know if I hope he does well. He deserves it. I like to see players like in their twilight having, resurgences. That's always fun. I hope so, but Cilic over Djokovic? It's a bold one. It's a bold one. Nadal. Just throw this list out the window. The draw will be the biggest factor. 1, Djokovic. Fiend. I mean, I think one of the most intriguing things about this tournament, yeah, we can all agree that Novak is a massive favorite, and I don't think anyone in their right mind can really see anyone beating him. Now, obviously, he needs to go ahead and win 7 matches. It's never easy to win a major, but is anyone going to really pick against Novak Djokovic here? No, I don't think so. But isn't that kind of the fun of this chaotic Wimbledon, is after Novak, it is a total crapshoot. I mean, that's the fun of it. So should we throw the list out the window? No, I don't think so. Jess, proper adult. Stefanos Tsitsipas stan, proper adult. A lot of people saying Berrettini should be higher. Girls, he has beaten nobody with that runs to the Queen's title. Sorry, Andy. Hugo's roll to Halle is much more impressive, and he's at number 9, question mark, question mark, question mark. Well, yes, Hugo's run was way more impressive than Matteo's, but overall body of work as a tennis player, Berrettini's body of work far surpasses that of Hugo and Bears. Let's not see. Here's the thing. I understand that we've only had 1 week and it's going to be 2 weeks after this week of grass court play. Can we not just throw everything we think we know about how these players are going to perform at Wimbledon based on last week? Because that's just not a great way to go about it. With that being said, I do kind of agree with some of the Berrettini sentiment. I put Berrettini at 5. That's high in a power rankings for a major. That means that you are a favorite if you have the right draw, likely to make a semifinal. I mean, you're just outside of that top 4. So that's very good. And a lot of people are like, well, Berrettini should be higher. Yeah, his grass resume is very good. I'll probably get to this a little bit more, but he hasn't really beaten anyone. Merle. I'm glad to see Alex on that list because many people already forgot or ignored that he just reached a semifinal in a grass court tournament and beat Cilic on the way, who is on everybody's list for Wimby. It's true. ADM has not been getting a lot of attention recently, but I feel like he kind of has nobody to blame other than himself. It's been a while since he's picked up a win that's kind of like shaken things up and gotten really anyone's attention. There haven't been a lot of unexpected wins, any big wins, so it's kind of his own fault. But this is a big opportunity for him here at Wimbledon. I think he can do big things. That's why he's on the list, sort of, on the next out. Andrey says, Novak, the only correct one. Classic Twitter. Classic Twitter. Just shit on my thing. Offer nothing of your own opinion or add nothing to the conversation. Just be like, nope, bad, wrong. Next. That's Twitter for you. Krasmir says Berrettini and Tsitsipas are second and third. Again, that's a lot of hype for Berrettini, who's made one major quarterfinal in his last 5 appearances. And I understand Wimbledon was skipped. That's a tough break for a guy who loves grass. But one quarterfinal in his last 5 major appearances, and we're thinking he's the number 2 best player in the field coming into Wimbledon. I just find this bit... Look, I think he could do great. I really think he can make a semifinal or a final. But, whoa. He's still Matteo Berrettini, who is a really solid top 10 player, but not really in the tier 1 here. Lowly London. I disagree with this power ranking from No Lay Down. I'm expecting a big hitter to break through. It always happens at Wimbledon, with Kevin beating Fed, Isner progressing last time further than expected. I doubt it will be as straightforward as people think. Marin gets a good draw. So again, Wimbledon was not held last year. So we're thinking that Isner making the semifinal 1 year in the entire, he's played this tournament over 10 times. He doesn't generally get a good result. So he makes the semifinal one time, 2019. He was really good in 2019 as well. And now it's just that John should get more respect and should be in the top 10. I think maybe he should be in the top 10. I'm not, really coming down on that opinion, but I just think that making the semifinal once out of the massive sample size we have, and being as old as John Isner is, there's no reason to expect that, he's going to do it again just because of that. It's also kind of, I disagree, and then doesn't really give me any sort of ranking in return. But I love Lowly London. Very good fan of the show, I believe. So, much love. Getting to replies now. Owen at Tennis Nation, I'd have Berrettini and Rublev higher, Federer lower. I have more faith in their physicality. Agreed with the rest, though. Very sensible take on my power ranking. If you don't believe in Federer's physicality, I totally get that. Makes total sense. Ed Dampier, Medvedev is a brave pick. I guess he is, because he doesn't have any grass court results to lean on, but I don't find it to be that brave. He's also a somewhat volatile player mentally. I don't find it that brave, though. Again, as I said in the power ranking video, his results on grass-like surfaces, so low bouncing, fast hard courts, are at this point almost second to none, or at least him and Novak, and then there's everybody else. Lynn Knott, putting Thiem ahead of any of those next guys out is certainly a discussion point, given his recent form and his pretty terrible record at Wimbledon. Well, first of all, prayers up for Dominic Thiem, because after I tweeted this out and after I made my power ranking, he injured his right wrist, and I don't think he's going to play Wimbledon. It's looking pretty shaky, and that's very sad for someone who's had a very difficult year already. But in terms of Thiem being at number 10, look, that's not high for him. And I understand the sentiment that he is a complete non-factor at Wimbledon and nobody should be talking about him at all if healthy. And with the wrist injury, I kind of agree. But if he gets through the first couple rounds and the grass slows down and he builds up some confidence, he's Dominic Thiem. And he's at number 10. I didn't put him at number 5. That's not good for Dominic Thiem. Number 10 is not good. That's bad. But I feel like most people's reaction was, well, Thiem's too high. Well, Thiem's in the last spot. Sacher, Thiem hasn't shown anything on grass. Bad form, and his game doesn't suit grass well at all. Backhand return, no swing time, topspin not effective, bad flat serve, etc. He's not even top 30 on grass right now, in my opinion. Well, look, you do lay out the proper arguments to make a case against Dominic Thiem on grass. I got to give it to you. And all of those things are true. But again, if we just talk about his form for a second, he drew Sam Querrey in the first round in 2019. It's just a bad draw. He had to retire in 2018. He was injured. The year before, he made the 4th round and then played a 5-setter against Berdych to make the quarterfinals and lost it. And again, Tomas Berdych, a really good grass court player. So to say his resume is horrific and horrendous, too much. It's not. And again, the fact that Wimbledon wasn't played last year is a factor. because it would have been interesting to see how Dominic Thiem at the peak of his powers, and someone who has worked very hard on his grass game and his fast court game, it would have been interesting to see how he fared. And now we might get robbed of it again in 2021. Sidant, Federer is ranked too high here, in my opinion. He hasn't shown much to be considered the third favorite. Yeah, he hasn't shown anything to be considered the third favorite in the last 2 years. It's, I'm going back before that point, knowing what I know about Roger Federer's skills, his talent, his ability, and what he looked like at Roland Garros. From Wild One, Federer is too high. He has no confidence or rhythm right now and too many physical questions. I think Humbert could surprise some people, although I'm not a fan of him playing in Mallorca after winning Halle. Yeah, he pulled out of Mallorca. I saw on Twitter, I don't know if this is true, but that he had a stomach bug, but I'm kind of think that might be good that he rests. So I agree with that. And yep, I get it. It's hard to know what happens with Federer and what kind of tennis he's going to play. So if you think Federer's too high, totally get it. I really did consider putting him lower, and I made the call to not do that, but I did highly consider it. Fritz Finlay. It is difficult. I feel Rublev is more of a lock to get to the quarter/semis than Tsitsipas given the conditions. I also want to believe in Fed, but I think Zverev should be in front of him. I understand why Berrettini is at 5. Not much to say to that. An interesting take by my man Fritz. Papa Smurf, I would put FAA in over Thiem, especially after his win over Roger. At this point, I actually agree with this reply wholeheartedly. After the wrist injury, I think FAA would be the guy who I'd put in there. Although, again, I just find his confidence to be fickle. I question if he gets deep, like at a quarterfinal, if he's going to be able to handle the occasion. And I just know that he's capable of playing a fantastic level, but also a horrendous level. And, I don't think he has the consistency over the course of 2 weeks to really go deep and be a threat. Talking Tour says, really like this list. Talking Tour is my burner account. Just kidding. It's a real account that you should follow. And I guess I'm just taken aback to see such unbridled positivity on the Bird app of Twitter. All About Tennis Blog says, I would switch Berrettini and Zverev, take Thiem off the list, and put Isner at the 7 spot, moving everyone else down. Switch Berrettini, so Berrettini higher than Zverev. Fair. Jonas, Medvedev shouldn't be anywhere near the top 5. Why? Why should the number 2 ranked player in the world, who's made 2 major finals and plays great on low bouncing fast surfaces, not be anywhere near the top 5? Why? Kezi FZ, I'm thinking Steph should be over Rublev and maybe Fed, but he has 2 years to play in grass. Also, Med should be over Berrettini, but he is too inconsistent in everything except hard court. Damn, this is hard. Maybe Nole, Berrettini, Federer, everyone else. I feel you. I feel you. This is hard. But you did it. I'm proud of you. Tom K. Roger number 3? Really? Seriously, even quarters is super stretch. He'd have to play and win just to make the quarters. Nice sentiment, but not realistic. He would have to play, and he would have to win in order to make the quarters. So I fully agree with that. Notice how back-to-back replies. It's just Federer putting someone at number 3, and then someone saying, Roger, number 3, really? The range is just massive with Federer. My friend Daniil Scotty, Shapo should be at least next out. Isner isn't physically capable of winning a Grand Slam. Shapo, yeah. I'm worried about him getting rushed. He is blocking his returns. I like that. And he did look pretty good in Queens. So I appreciate it that Scotty is the first to point out someone who should be in the next out who is not. And I think Shapo is a good shout there. Good shout. Michael Tibus, Fed would probably be number 3, even if Rafa still played, which is mind-blowing. These players at least fought hard to get their present rankings. 2021 Roger is not 2010 Roger. Come on, Wimbledon. Please stop with the he was great on grass the last time he was really great on grass. It's unfair. You do know that this is these are my rankings, not the Wimbledon seeds. Somebody tell Michael that, send him this video, that these are not the seeds, but just in fact my personal opinion. Rachel at Tennis Bish. I'd put Matteo above Med and Zverev. 17-2 win-loss record on grass in the last 2 years with 2 titles, compared to 3-4 for Zverev and 6-4 for Medvedev, and no grass titles for either. Plus, he got further at Wimbledon 2019. Not sure more slam experience for them makes up for such a deficit in results. I get it, but can I just point something out here? And this is very important, I think, to point out for Berrettini. So I just looked at all of his career grass victories, 21 of them. He's got a very impressive 21-6 grass court record. He beat 0 players in my top 10 on grass in his career. He's never beaten a player in this top 10. He's beaten 1 player on this list, or 2, which is FAA and Alex de Minaur. Never beaten any of these guys. So, again, I think Matteo is a lock to go pretty far in Wimbledon. It really does feel like that. It does. But then he needs to play better players. And he simply hasn't shown in a major that he can beat these elite tier 1 level guys. Matteo is not really there. New Day. Federer is way too high at number 3. You saw how he lost versus FAA. I did see. That's one match. Can we not base this off of one match? One match. Looked good in the first set. FAA played great. Federer got really, really unbelievably negative and played awful for the rest of the match. Far below his level, and it was a shockingly bad mental performance that I'm just not anticipating we see at Wimbledon. Short Angled Slice says, I think I'm going to see an upset or 2 when I go next week. I hope you do. James Cardigan, good call on Medvedev. His loss in Halle notwithstanding, folks are underestimating him on grass. I agree. They are. Ryan, FAA over Thiem all day. Fair. At this point, I'm with you. Chris, sorry to say, we probably haven't seen enough to go Fed number 3. Again, very much respect that opinion. Susie20RF, poor Hugo, and not sure you can ignore an Isner over 5 sets. Is it poor Hugo? Did I shortchange Hugo here at number 8 when he has not done anything all season long until last week? I love Hugo, but I thought that I was high on him, putting him at number 8. That's what I thought. I guess not.